Where is it? Oh, hey guys, present day Steely here. I say present day because the video that you're about to watch was supposed to come out last Sunday, which was Mother's Day. In the episode, I refer to Mother's Day coming up, so I didn't want anyone to be confused and think they were in a time vortex. I kind of had to put everything going on hold. I'm fine, everything's okay, just some things got screwed up. Moving forward, I'm going to try to work more diligently to give you guys videos on a more consistent basis. However, this doesn't mean that I'm quitting, or the show is over, or I'm going to stop putting out content. I'm still going to be putting out content, just take a little while for me to kind of get everything under control and get into a flow again. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy episode 14. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day, and I hope that you stay here with us on Steely's Corner so we can help geek culture come to life. Here we go. Enjoy the episode, guys. Hey guys, I want to thank you for coming in to have this little meeting. Has anybody seen Terry?
He said he's running late. He'll be here soon.
Okay, well, I guess we can get started without him. Look, I know I really haven't been feeling like myself lately. I've been dealing with a bunch of different stuff, but I just wanted to kind of get us together to maybe brainstorm some new ideas for the show to try to keep it fresh. You know, maybe just kind of see what everybody can bring to the table.
Well, this is what I can bring to the table.
Jesus. Overcompensating for something, Mr. J? Jokester.
You put a clown in a box.
Sweet cream on an ice cream sandwich. What in the phenomenally blue hell are you talking about? Sorry, I think I just had a seizure.
Something.
Ugh. I've got an idea. How about you actually do the movie reviews and the pay-per-view reviews that you promised? Or how about getting an episode out on time? Really? That's where you want to go with this? Just picking on me? But yeah, slacker. I don't know. Bake sale? No, nothing ever good comes of you guys having baked products. And besides, we're trying to come up with a frickin' YouTube show, not save a rec center. What the hell we're gonna do with a bake sale? I don't know. Alright guys, this might be way out of left field, but maybe now is the time that we put together my Alabama tribute band.
I'm in a hurry to get things done, oh I rushing till life's no fun.
No way, not happening. Jokester, here. What's that for? To carry your tune with.
You mother...
Sorry.
Aww.
Figure it out and let me know.
Guys! She's here!
Who?
Mother.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Jay?
What it is, Steely.
Glad you're back, dog.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow. But he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow. But he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow. But he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go. Thanks, Jay.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Steely's Corner. I'm your host, Steely, and this is episode 14, Mama Knows. With Mother's Day right on the horizon, I thought what better way to pay tribute to the women that brought us into this world than by putting them through our normal paces here in Steely's Corner, taking a look at mothers throughout the vast different categories of geek culture. We're going to look at some manhandling mamas over in our wrestling corner. For our pops, we're going to take a look at a couple marvelous moms. In our movie section, we're going to take a look at some of the most monstrous mommies in horror movie history. And to round out with our film review, we're going to take a look at the John Waters classic 1994's Serial Mom. So grab your mom, grab a snack, and let us entertain you for the next 25 or so minutes. But just please make sure you do me one favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can all help geek culture come to life. Because here we go. Word to your mom. Word, Laura. Let's face it, guys, no matter what way we try to slice it or jazz it up, we all kinda came into this world the same way. Well, except maybe for Pee Wee Herman. I don't think anybody would get that close to him, let alone give birth to him. Did you know he once hosted Monday Night Raw? Apparently he brought everybody some party favors. It was before my time, so I missed out. Damn it. But for some of these wrestlers, they showed praise to their mom in the strangest of ways, and some of them actually ended up becoming moms themselves. Let's take a look at the wonderful and wild world of wrestling with wrestling moms. Paige's first chapter. And I thought I was pale. Did you ever wonder what the WWE commentators were referring to when they said that Paige literally had to beat her own mother to win her first wrestling match? That was because she actually did. That's right, Sweet Saraya Knight was a UK wrestling legend in the late 80s and early 90s. Falling in love with her trainer, the two of them opened their own wrestling organization and even began to train their children and bring them up through the ranks, making Paige the most successful of their children over here in the States. But in all reality, yes, her first wrestling match was against her mom.
I had a battle with my mom once. That was a very, very intense game of Pictionary.
Talk about keeping the business a family affair. You want a deeper dive into this? Check out Fighting With My Family. It's awesome. Let's give Mae Young a big hand. If you can remember back to episode 9, I briefly touched on the life and times of the wrestling legend and icon that was Mae Young, and her weird on-again, off-again with Olympic powerlifter and WWE champion Mark Henry, and at the tender age of 79, Mae gave birth to their love child, a hand. Well, just to prove that there is nothing sacred and WWE will go to absolutely any lengths to milk a storyline dry, no matter how absurd, we actually got to meet a grown-up version of this handsome anthropomorphic hand on television. Yeah, that happened. Mark Henry should have wore a love glove. Something ain't right about that, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Dawn Marie, Stepmom of the Year. How do you get into your opponent's head? I mean, really get in there. By seducing one of their parents, of course. During the feud between Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson, Dawn decided to take a different tactic and pursue and try to seduce Tori's father, Al, him being a senior citizen at the time. After Dawn managed to turn Al against his daughter, he and she decided to get married on national television in their underwear. He was naked. But unfortunately and sadly to report, during their honeymoon, Dawn Marie and her geriatric gentleman ended up having a tragedy. In storyline, Al died from overconsumption of Viagra. Anyway, this whole screwed up nasty affair ended up with a stepmom versus stepdaughter match for the dearly departed Al's estate. Wait, I think I saw a movie about that. Stepdaughter and stepmom, and then they... No, definitely wrong one. Bring your mom to work day. Okay, let's say it's the early 2000s and you're Rick Steiner and your tag team partner just went down with an injury and you literally had 1 minute to find the very next person you could to be your partner, or else you had to give up your tag team titles. But the only person you could find was Buff Bagwell's mom, Judy, who was visiting. Yes, if you look in the history books of WCW, Judy Bagwell, who never defended the title ever, is in the books as a tag team champion. Skipping ahead a little bit, her baby boy Buff ended up getting into a feud with Chris Kanyon.
You mean that Mortis guy from the Mortal Kombat episode?
During the feud, Judy ended up being the prize at the end of one of their fights, where they had a Judy Bagwell on a pole match. Well, a forklift. I really don't think they could have put her up on a pole. I was there for that. They were going to use a cargo crane, but they couldn't fit it in the arena. It turned out that Judy had a lot to do with Buff's downfall. Calling into Jim Ross to let him know that her baby boy was too injured to come work a house show, Jim Ross quickly got upset and said, "This is the last time you and I are going to have a conversation about your boy, because he's a man and he should be calling me himself, not you." Yeah, Buff, you a mama's boy. Have mom call out of work for me. We'll give it a try. Finally, behind every good McMahon, there's a good McWoman. Sorry, these titles are a little off. Anyway, Linda McMahon, once on-screen president of WWE and real-life co-founder and CEO of Titan Sports, Linda McMahon's influence on the wrestling world and the real world as it is unparalleled.
Apparently, it was Linda's idea to take World Wrestling Entertainment public, to create stocks and shareholders for the company so it could be publicly traded on the stock market.
Giving us some of the craziest moments, like I explained at WrestleMania X7 of her coming out of her coma, the multiple times she took Stone Cold Stunners.
Thank you.
Even though it was a bit sloppy, she did eat that stunner. Ugh. But then in real life also running for the US Senate and actually serving on former President Trump's cabinet. They said that Linda is the glue that holds the McMahon family together and that keeps Vince, Shane, and Stephanie from completely falling apart. Glue? That shit's cement!
Everyone, this is my mom. Hello, boys.
Hello, Miss Terry?
No, it's Miss Carrie.
Oh, your first name's Carrie.
No, my first name is Mary. I'm Mrs. Mary Carrie.
Your last name is Carrie. So, your name is Terry Carrie? What's your middle name? Larry?
Oh, sweetheart, you told them your middle name. That is wonderful.
Too much. I can't take it. Your name is Terry, Larry, Carrie?
Yes, Terry, Larry, Carrie. Oh, yes. My boy's initials are TLC.
TLC? I find that offensive.
Well, I know you boys have a lot of work to do, so don't mind me. I won't be in anyone's way. I'll just hang around and visit until my hotel's ready. Terry, why don't you show Mommy around? Now, Terry.
Now, Terry!
Mom.
Marvel itself has some pretty awesome moms in their comic books, so I figured we could pop in on a couple of them. Now, the pop that I really wanted to display because of her popularity and her relevancy right now would have been Scarlet Witch. For her portrayal in WandaVision, her being a doting mother over the twins, it would have fit, but I still got some good ones, I promise. Let me introduce you guys to Phoenix, aka Jean Grey. You may remember her from the X-Men line of comics. She had a beautiful love affair with Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. And over time, they ended up giving birth to a baby boy known as Nathan Summers, better known to us as Cable. Yeah, that's right, the counterpart of the Deadpool movie was this latest baby boy. That's pretty wild.
Hey, Deadpool! You said the same guy that played Cable played Thanos. They don't look anything alike.
This is a pop that's small in stature, but definitely not in reputation. Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp. After being lost for a period of time, her image as a mother was kind of put to the side, but we all know that her and original Ant-Man Hank Pym gave birth to Hope Van Dyne, whom then later in time took over her mother's mantle as the new Wasp. Her and new Ant-Man Scott Lang end up having a love affair together, and later down the road have a child of their own. So yeah, you guys are keeping this little Ant-Man and Wasp legacy in the family. It's pretty awesome. To round us out, I'm going to show you guys a new pop that I just got. Now, this may be a little off-putting because of the setup that I got of her, but you'll see. This is Zombie Rogue. Now, there's a reason why I got Zombie Rogue instead of regular Rogue. 2 reasons. 1, I couldn't find regular Rogue. That's 1.
I like her better as a zombie.
2 is because in the storyline that she has children, this is unfortunately her end. In storyline, Rogue and Gambit finally get together and end up having 2 children, Oli and Becca. But subsequent end to the story, Rogue ends up dying and being resurrected as a zombie.
These marvelous moms got it going on.
She eventually comes back to life normal because comic books, but I just thought it was kind of fitting and freaky that less than a year later after she became a mom, she ended up becoming a zombie. It's pretty wild. So, let's move on. Terry, how is this even possible?
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, your mom was like a split personality of you.
What are you talking about?
Really, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Episode 6, you completely went deranged. Tried to stab me with a kitchen knife.
I never tried to kill you. That didn't happen.
Oh my god. I need to quit drinking. So, your mom is real.
Well, of course she's real. I mean, where do you think I came from?
Just whatever you do, try to keep her under control. Yeah?
What do you mean? She's nice. She's sweet as rain. A little over the top, but she's like any other mom. Well, what's wrong with her? She's nice. You think she's nice, right?
I mean, she seems nice. Okay, I'll be honest. I think she's sweet, but a psycho.
A little bit psycho.
The hell was that?
Couldn't help it.
I don't blame you. I would have did it too. Okay.
Mothers have a natural instinct to protect their children, and in some cases they go well above and beyond to make sure that they do so. But for some of these monstrous horror moms, they went a bit overboard. Let's look at some. Mommy from The People Under the Stairs. Simply known as Mommy, this sick and twisted woman actually had quite a few hobbies and pastimes. She enjoyed capturing people and locking them in their basement, torturing her children, her prisoners, sleeping with Daddy, which ended up being her brother, and couponing.
In some countries, couponing is considered a competitive sport. Full contact one, too.
Annie Graham, Hereditary. After her cruel and sadistic mother is laid to rest, Annie starts to take on her late mother's demeanor and attitude to the point that she can't even recognize her own reflection in the mirror. Going after her children, it unlocks this whole thing of a hereditary gene that is being spread from parent to child of insanity and just plain cruelty. I just wanted to inherit my mom's singing voice.
I don't think I inherited much from my mom. We don't even look alike.
Really, Terry? Really?
Corinne and Olivia Doliganger, The Flowers in the Attic. With Flowers in the Attic, we get a double dose of evil moms, with Corinne and her mother Olivia competing to see who could drive Corinne's children completely crazy and treat them the worst. The children, who were products of incest, were kept sequestered, abused, starved, and neglected.
Is that why my mom calls me a wallflower?
All that time goes by as the mother and grandmother run around trying to get their hands on an inheritance that's owed to them. And I ain't saying they a gold digger. The other mother, Coraline. You know, still to this day, I call my mom and ask her for advice or with some help if I need something sewed. But definitely not at the cost of having buttons sewed over my eyes. Other mother from Coraline is a sneaky kind of evil. She'll lure you in with love and warmth and then bite your freaking head off. I've been subjugated to this movie over 1,000 times, it being one of my niece's favorites growing up. But after seeing the sick and twisted ways of Other Mother in this movie, it actually made me afraid of Terry Hatcher's voice, which, that's a tragedy all in itself.
I was afraid of Terry Hatcher before she became Other Mother. It's because she hung out with that dastardly Superman.
Debbie Salt, or Mrs. Loomis from Scream 2. Disguising herself as a story-hungry journalist, we find out that Debbie Salt is none other than Mrs. Loomis, the mother of the first Scream movie's killer, Billy Loomis. This now grief-stricken mother is out for revenge against Sidney for killing off her son and putting an end to his psychopathic version of phone tag. But I really can't blame her. I think we all went a little crazy when Roseanne got canceled. They done did Aunt Jackie bad. Margaret White, Carrie. There's crazy, there's religious crazy, and then there's Margaret White. Carrie's mom was a complete fanatic beyond. She took the Bible as literal, but then took it up a notch, thinking absolutely everything in life except maybe for sitting in the dark and reading the Bible and praying was a sin. She locks her poor teenage daughter in a broom closet only lit by one singular candle to pray away her sin because her daughter came home with her first period. Lady, you knuckin' futs.
Margaret's my kind of crazy.
Norma Bates, Psycho.
Norma, sweet but a psycho.
Little bit psycho.
Now, Norma Bates may not be a killer per se, but she's definitely an accessory, going to great lengths to cover up all of her son Norman's crimes so nobody finds out about his little episodes. But unfortunately, all the covering up and doting and control gave Norman the impression that they were a little closer than mother and son should be, to the point that he started to think of his mother as his spouse, which was ultimately her own end and demise. But in Norman's head, it was his mother that was committing these horrific acts and murders, going around being a complete bloodthirsty animal until the day he was able to put that thought and her mind to rest. Because a boy's best friend is his mother. Right? Right? And finally, Pamela Voorhees, Friday the 13th. This may be the most understandable series of events to happen to an actual person that's on this list. Mrs. Voorhees was grief-stricken and completely torn apart because of the neglect of her son while at camp. Her mentally challenged son was not being attended by the camp counselors and ended up drowning. To get revenge, she showed back up to the camp and executed the two counselors. Fair enough, makes sense, eye for an eye and all that. But then,
And at that moment, Nancy Palmer went Mega Karen.
returning to the camp every single time that it had opened in the subsequent years to murder anyone claiming to be a camp counselor or not performing their job by, going off and having sex or drinking or doing drugs, which in essence gave birth to the biggest serial killer in movie history, Jason frickin' Voorhees. Yes, thank you, Pamela. You unleashed this hell on Earth. We applaud you. And we actually do. Thank you. He's pretty frickin' awesome. Happy Mother's Day.
I'm going to kill them. I'll kill all of them. Every single one of them. I will stab
Well,
them.
hello there.
Huh? Hello.
And what's your name, sweet kitten?
I'm Mary. And you are?
Me? I'm your friendly neighborhood Edpool.
Oh, you're Edpool. My boy Terry tells me all about you.
5 minutes later.
But do you think maybe next time, we could do it with your mask off? I'm wearing a mask?
Mom is a movie that can stand on its own merit, being its almost own kind of subgenre within horror. It is a dark comedy, horror, satire based on a true story, which the only part of this that is relevantly true is the fact that there was a case in Texas where a mother killed a teacher. That was the brainchild behind all of this. Everything else that happened in the movie is completely made up by John Waters, but that one specific thing that a mother killed her child's teacher was the basis and the grounds to get this whole ball rolling. The date shows us that we are in May of 1993. But the date itself is a little specific to me in this case because it shows us that it is the Friday just after Mother's Day. Coincidence? Yeah, it probably is. The film stars Kathleen Turner as Beverly Sudfin. Her husband is portrayed by Sam Waterston. He plays the patriarch of the family, Eugene Sudfin. He is the local dentist, and both of them are a respectable couple in the town. Beverly's a member of the PTA, she gives to charities, she even has a good relationship with the garbage men because she is the most concise recycler in the entire town. Her children also are portrayed by Ricky Lake, which is a John Waters mainstay. She plays Misty Sudfin, which is actually a college student at Maryland State University. Go Ricky, go Ricky, go Ricky. That's right, baby, right here. And her son, Chip, is portrayed by Matthew Lillard in his very first movie role ever. It is crazy how this Leave It to Beaver family is kind of stuck together, not even allowing her children to really curse in the house.
So happy I could Chip. You know how I hate the brown word.
I'm gonna start using that. Hey, stop saying the brown word. But see, that's the only one I can do that for. I mean, what color do you use for the word? Anyway, the family gets approached by a pair of detectives investigating strange and harassing phone calls to one of the local neighbors, Dottie Hinkle. Apparently, the person calls her up belligerently, saying the most foul and unbelievable things in the entire world, and the Sudfins are completely appalled that any person would use such language. Cut to 3 minutes later, and we find out that it's Beverly that's making the phone calls. A full Jekyll and Hyde switch. I'd play the clip for you, but I'm trying to keep this PG-13, and this would take us way into R territory. So I definitely suggest you check the movie out, even if it's just for this part. Anyway, as the movie goes on, everyone just kind of brushes Beverly off as being kind of just naive and a little crazy and just a little picky, but a genuinely wholesome, loving, and caring person, even though she's a little bit frickin' kooky. That is until she has a parent-teacher conference with Chip's math teacher, Mr. Stubbins. And Mr. Stubbins begins to berate Chip, not for his grades or his attendance, both of those are great, but his obsession with horror movies and the fact that he draws gorish pictures of vampires and mutilated bodies inside of his class. This pisses Beverly off, and she brought that man a fruitcake.
Fruitcake, my favorite.
While in the parking lot, she contemplates the fact of maybe running the guy over or pulling over and assaulting him. But she kind of gives him a passing nod as she sees him walking to his car, gladly harnessing that wonderful fruitcake that she just made for him, so she's gonna let it go. Then he starts chewing a stick of gum. Well, the hell with that. She throws the car in drive and runs Mr. Stubbins over. Mr. Stubbins is gone, and comically as the piece of gum falls out of his mouth. Ah, pure poetry. Not too long after that, obviously, the murder of a town's teacher becomes local news and everyone is in hysteria because one of the teachers got freaking murdered in the parking lot of the school. Now, this also brings up a very odd thing. This is Mr. Stubbins. Listen to what the news reporter says.
Mr. Paul Stubbins was 38 years old.
38. You mean to tell me that that's a 38-year-old man? Okay, guys, just do me one favor. If you've liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel, if this is what I look like in 3 years, please old yeller me and take me out behind the woodshed and put me out of my misery. Gladly. I get first crack. Just one simple number change. 48. Okay, that's belief, but 38? Come on now. That man had a hard life. Ain't nobody got a comb over like that. And who rocks a mustache I'm getting way off topic. Anyway, it was just odd. Strange to everyone, Miss Sudfin is unfazed by the news of the teacher. She even utters to her son Chip, "Well, you said that you hated him." "Yeah, but I didn't want him to die." So, as things continue on in the movie, slowly and slowly the layers of Beverly start getting peeled back. She starts outing herself almost in broad daylight to Dottie, tipping her off that she's been the harassing phone caller. When Misty gets stood up by the guy that she's seeing at college and happens to show up at the same place that they are with a new girlfriend, Beverly decides to take revenge out for her daughter because her daughter's sitting there crying upset, so Beverly grants her daughter's wish. And as the pieces start to come together, everyone starts to suspect Beverly, but no one can quite pinpoint exactly where or how she's pulling these things off. At one point in the movie, the husband even returns home early from work and starts searching the house to see if he can have any clues to why any of this stuff is happening. Inside of Beverly's bird book that she likes to look in is actually a biography about Charles Manson. Found underneath of her mattress are letters and correspondence from inmates that are on death row, and even an audio tape sent directly to Beverly recorded by Ted Bundy himself. She dated King Kong Bundy? Was this before or after Romancing the Stone? Not King Kong Bundy, Ted Bundy. Throughout this movie, anybody that did any of the members of the Sudfin family wrong, Beverly tried to set it right by completely offing them. She starts to come unglued, unhinged, to the point that she even murders a married couple that all they did was make her husband come into work on his day off to fix a rotting tooth. That was enough to send her over the edge and brutally murder the wife with scissors and then drop a frickin' AC unit on the husband's head. It is crazy. Woman insults her son, she beats her to death with a leg of lamb. And of course, the suspecting best friend of Chip gets run down and set on fire in frickin' hammerjacks. This movie is awesome!
It was actually pretty wild to see the Baltimore County Police logo on the side of the cop cars. John Waters did this movie justice by keeping everything that was Maryland, and Baltimore for that matter, authentic.
Now, it is very cool to actually see some of the locations that they use in the movie because, me being a Marylander, it's wild seeing them mention Harford Road or the fact that they're going to Towson University or the famed hammerjacks that they're looking to turn down Timonium Road, or they have a barricade set out as far as Harford Road. They even have Towson Courthouse in the background during the trial at the end of the film. It is nuts to see all these different elements of things that are literally just down the street from me. And yes, that is a John Waters signature. Almost every one of his big films had something to do right here in Maryland. Hairspray, Cry Baby, that one about nymphomaniacs, I can't remember what it is, but that all took place on Harford Road. That was insane.
What do you think? I want to be John Waters for Halloween next year. Brother.
All in all, it is a great romp. And surprising to me when I found out that it has a 76% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I tend to give movies I like a little bit of a higher ranking percentile than the actual critics do, but in this case, we're about on par with each other. It's dark, it's humorous, it is a satire, and it is just packed to the brim with blink and you'll miss it in jokes, and just some of the best writing I have ever seen in a long time. It's like you want Beverly to win, even though she's running around committing these horrible acts, but you're cheering her on the whole frickin' way because why wouldn't we want to get back at somebody? And again, it was all just to protect her family. And again, this movie is easy to digest. It's only an hour and a half long. It is rated R. It has aged pretty decently well for it being a mid-90s movie, but still, it's timeless to me. It exists in its own little pocket dimension. Some of the humor's a little bit off and outdated, but I mean, come on. They have a Pee Wee Herman doll in it. So if you're looking for something a little dark, a little gory, and a little funny to watch with your mom or anybody, pick out Serial Mom. It's worth your time. You can find Serial Mom right now on Peacock streaming for free. And as for my patented 5 out of 5 movie ranking scale, I give Serial Mom 4.5 Pussy Willows, Daddy.
Are those pussy willows?
dried ones. Aren't they pretty?
What did you just say?
Pussy Willow's Dottie.
Out of 5. I have to call my mom. Excuse me. Well, guys, that about does it for this week's episode of Steely's Corner. I want to thank you, as always, for dropping in and checking us out, giving us a chance, and I hope that we entertained you and educated you a little bit on all wonderful things that are in geek culture. So with that being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope your mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. And stay tuned for episode 15 when horror is going to hit home. Because we're going to be dealing with some evil. Some resident evil. Love you guys. Be good to each other.
Well, thanks for visiting, Mom. Sorry I had to work on the show while you were here. Oh, it's okay, sweetheart. I got to know your friends a little bit better, and I got shown around by one of them and actually had a just wonderful time with them. You did? With who? Honey, you, left your pearls on my, katana. Thank you. You and me are gonna have some words. Look, son. Don't call me son. Ah. Mother!